Ready to unlock your true potential and manifest the life of your dreams? Then I've got something super special just for you. Our mind-blowing self-love and manifestation courses. Picture this, a journey of self-discovery where you'll find a deep well of self-love and acceptance. Say goodbye to self-doubt and hello to unshakable confidence. Our courses are designed to help you embrace your worthiness and tap into the incredible power of self-love. But that's not all. We'll also dive deep into the transformative world of manifestations. You'll learn proven tools and techniques and strategies to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your wildest dreams. So get ready to create the success, happiness, love, and abundance that you deserve. So what are you waiting for? Head over to candywashington.com/courses to get started. Again, that's candywashington.com/courses. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Self-Love Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Candy Washington, and I cannot wait to help you lead a more joyful life. So before we dive into today's episode, which will be a very powerful and inspiring conversation with Jocelyn Michelle, be sure to like, subscribe, and share because your journey is always better with a little bit more support. And if you need additional support, be sure to grab our free self-love guide right down below. Check out our courses on self-love, manifestation, and lifestyle design. Join our Patreon community. I am gifting you all with 7 days free. So the first week is on me. So go ahead and join us down below and shop our Soft Girl merch as well. Treat yourself. So with that, let's dive in. So for today's episode, we are meeting with Jocelyn Michelle, and she is the dual founder and CEO of CoachedIt and Confidence Daily. And it thrives at the intersection of success and self-actualization. As a healthcare executive turned entrepreneur, Jocelyn has worked in both the corporate and creative worlds, which gives her a very particular and unique perspective that I cannot wait to dive into. So welcome, Jocelyn.
Hi, Candy. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Do you want to share with us a little bit about your story? How did you transition from, corporate to what you're doing now, and really what brought you to this present moment that you're in?
Yes. So I love telling this story just because, especially right now when I'm like on the brink of 30, right? So throughout my life, my childhood was an A student, overachiever. And so I graduated college and had this plan for myself, this kind of roadmap. And so I went to graduate school, got into a really great consultancy, hopped around a lot of different jobs and climbed the ladder every single step of the way. Made 6 figures very early on in my career. And so from the outside looking in, there was success and abundance. And I felt that way to some extent, but I also took a step back and realized, like, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not really happy. And I'm super burned out. So like what looked like success felt like anything but. And so I took the leap. I bet on myself. A lot of people took this leap at the same time. It was during the pandemic. And so kind of navigating that landscape. And so that unlocked a series of transformations. And I always say, like, everything happens for a reason and at the right time. But at that time, in 2020, it did not feel like the right time. Like Candy, it felt like the worst time. So at the time I was quitting my job, I was dating someone. I didn't really realize like everything that was kind of going on. I hadn't unpacked childhood trauma. So the moment I decided to quit my job was when everything unraveled. I was forced to leave that abusive relationship. Childhood trauma presented itself right in front of me where I had no choice but to confront it, where I didn't even realize it existed.
Right.
And as soon as I did that, true success unlocked. I was living in alignment and no longer feeling like I had to, strive to be successful, but I found my stride. And now I'm the founder of CoachedIt, and I help women feel empowered and love themselves with Confidence Daily.
I love that. So what came up for me was you had to redefine what success was. Like that's a very big shift. I find where it's just like you said, we think success is the six figures, the relationship, the job, the degree, but success really is how do I feel every day? You know, am I actually fulfilled? Am I living a successful and fulfilled life? So how do you now define success for yourself?
Success is a feeling,
Yes.
and success is living in alignment. And I know, Joss 5 years ago would have been like, yeah, that's super esoteric, doesn't matter, doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
um, but success really is a feeling because here's the reality. We
Mm-hmm.
all have goals, right? And our goals are juicy. They keep us motivated. They keep us going. But the fact of the matter is, which is probably the case for the women who work with you who are listening
Mm-hmm.
right now, you're going to get there. You're going to arrive at your goal. And then the question is going to be, and then what? And so you have to fall in love with the journey, with the process of getting there. And it has to be not just about, oh, I want to make this much money, I want to have this title, I want this man. It
Mm-hmm.
really has to be like, this is the life I want to live, and this is how I want to feel, like living my best, soft, cute life.
Yeah.
And in the process of living that, right? I'm in alignment with my soul, in alignment with my spirit. And so I'm attracting all of the things that I want to me instead of feeling like, oh, I have to work, 12 hours a week and be the best
Mm-hmm.
and hustle. No, success isn't hustle unless that, turns you on. But like, it doesn't turn me on. Rest turns me on.
100%. And then that's when you go from living in toxic masculine energy. And remember, guys, when we talk about masculine and feminine, it's not gender, it's energetic, it's
Yeah.
attributes, how does it feel? So going from living in that toxic masculine energy to the healed feminine energy, you shift from hustle to flow. Things come to me. You know, my presence is a presence. I'm allowed to just rest, relax, and abundance still comes. So
Yeah.
I love that. And then you were talking about how, like, when you quit the job, the toxic relationship, you know, fell apart, and then the childhood trauma slapped you in the face. Like, that's usually how it goes when you get to sort of that moment of crisis in life where it's like something's got to give and then everything does. But usually that's how it has to happen because it's like everything has to break away before the new can come.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like when, like farmers, when you're cropping stuff, everything has to go away before they can then plant the new seeds. You can't plant new seeds on top of, you know, dead crops.
Yeah. You are
So,
so right. And I feel like to hone in on the point that you just made, because I
yeah.
feel like this is so important, like you will have this idea. Like I was like, okay, I'm ready to quit my job. And you will know that like some aspects of it will be hard. But I feel like you never get the full picture, but to like not be discouraged
Mm-hmm.
of like how hard it is, but like have that, like the falling away of the things that you didn't even know had to fall away, that separation should be your inspiration because it's like I'm elevating. And even though those things were maybe comfortable for me for the stage that I was in, or maybe they weren't even comfortable, but it was just what I was used to, it
Yeah.
had to go away for me to move to that next level. Either you're going to come with me or you're going to stay behind. And it's not me saying I'm better, but it's saying I'm going over here. Are you
Yeah.
coming or not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's a good point. It's like when we start our, you know, wellness journey or self-love journey or transformation, whatever we want to call it, I do think that we need to have that discernment and wisdom that things and people will fall away. You know, that some relationships will have to go. They could be friends, they could be family, they could be coworker, you know, even certain types of relationships that you have to yourself, because not everything we do in our relationship to self is always healthy. So you even have to evaluate, how am I showing up for me? You know, what habits and what self-sabotage and what, you know, self-deprecating, what self-critical things am I doing that I'm going to have to now shift from? Because we forget that the most important relationship we have is relationship to self.
Yeah.
You know, and that is actually the hardest one to change. But once you change that relationship, then everything else flows from there. So I
Yes.
think that's such a really good point to remember. Like, all of your relationships will need to be reevaluated, but that's okay. And like, keep going when that happens. And then when you brought up, how like the childhood trauma slapped you in the face and like you didn't even know it was there, like that's also so true, because usually unhealed trauma lies in the subconscious mind and it's actually running the show. That's why when we get, quote, the thing, we don't enjoy it, because
Yep.
trauma says you don't deserve it. So even when we have it, we're still stressed, striving, feeling not good enough. What's next, 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 next? Because trauma keeps us separate from the present moment, where gratitude is, where appreciation is, where self-acceptance is. Yeah. So do you have any like daily practices or advice on building up that connection to self, building up that self-confidence within yourself?
Yeah, I would say honestly, every day looks different in terms of what I do, but there are some staples.
Yeah.
Um, I meditate every day, a lot of times 2 to 3 times a day, at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's such a powerful practice to just sit, especially when I get to start my day, like not looking at the phone and just go right into that guided meditation of how do I want my life to look? Because you're setting the stage and the expectation for life going forward.
Mm.
So that for me is just so important in terms of what do I want for my life to look like? And then how will I show up this day based on that? And I think one of the things outside of that is gratitude. And you kind of mentioned that when you were just speaking.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most powerful ways to manifest more in your life and to really exist in that feminine energy is to show gratitude. And I
Yeah.
think that one of the misconceptions sometimes we have about gratitude is that, we don't have goals or we want to remain stagnant. And it's not about that. It's just, you can want a bigger house or more money and still be grateful for the resources that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I equate it is, you do a favor for someone and you really went out of your way. It wasn't something that you usually do. And then they say, oh, thanks, versus you doing a favor for someone and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. This was great. You're incentivized to like, okay, I really want to be like tuned in, tapped in, turned on by this person. And I'm like, I want to do more for them. That's how the universe works too. And so my relationship to self is also my relationship to source, to God, to like higher power, to
Yes.
showing gratitude. And then I'll say a journal every day, just a mind dump, like literally like what's happening today. Get that on the page. Um, but recently, what I'll say, Candy, is
Yeah.
practicing active self compassion, which is new for me in this very intentional way. Um, I'm very busy. And so when we feel all the feelings, whether it's, I'm just a little bit more emotional because it's that time of the month, or like I'm dealing with some like real life stuff and I'm sad and feeling down, letting myself feel that and saying like, this is a space we're in, and like really talking myself through that and being okay as I am and practicing being a human being and not a human doing. I
Yeah.
think that that's so important. And so those are the kind of the things that I do on a daily basis, but give some, take some with each day.
I love that. There were so many good nuggets. I always write down like my notes to come back to, because there's so many good downloads. So I loved what you were saying. I think connection to divine source God is so key, right? Because that's really the foundation and the rock and the stability for everything. So it's like when the human part of us, messes up and needs our self-compassion, just like you said, it's the divine within us, that connection to source, that still makes us intrinsically worthy and valuable and lovable. That's why the truth of who we are is unmovable. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why circumstances don't matter. What has happened to you doesn't matter. What doesn't happen for you doesn't matter, because the truth of who you are is unmovable. And that connection to that divinity and God and source is what really anchors you. So I love that. And then when you were talking about showing gratitude in the moment, I think that's so important, because that's really what self-acceptance is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you actually accept yourself for exactly who you are, exactly what you have, And you can still, lovingly want more. It's not saying that you're complicit. It's just saying that you're appreciative, right? That is when actual like change happens. Like I remember I was talking to this woman and she's like, I had this great job in LA, like, working at one of the top studios. I had this great house in Malibu and I had this great husband, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled and something had to change. And so she divorced, she quit she quit her job at the big studios, and she packed up with her either cat or a dog, I forgot what it was, and she went up to San Francisco and she started over living in this apartment. And all her friends were like, "You're crazy. What are you doing? Like, sure, divorce the guy, but don't leave the job. Don't leave the big Hollywood job," right? And she was like, "No, I just wasn't happy." And she said she just sort of sat there and she looked around and she's like, "You know what? If this is it, that's okay. If it's just me and the cat, just me in this apartment, that's okay. I'm still going to be happy and that's fine." So she accepted who she was, exactly where she was. And then she was like, and then all the blessings flowed. And now I'm in this house and now I have a new husband and I'm really happy. And now I started my own business, and she was doing all this stuff. But it's exactly what you said. It's like showing appreciation and gratitude for exactly who you are. And it's also really saying to yourself and to the divine, to God's universe, that I'm enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need anything else to be enough because I already am. The
Yeah.
bigger house doesn't make me a more worthy person. A ring on my finger doesn't make me more lovable. More money in the bank doesn't validate who I am. I'm already lovable. I'm already validated. I'm already worthy. The extra is just extra, but it's still me at the anchor. So I absolutely love that. And I agree, like meditating and journaling. So what are some things that you do, like if someone was struggling with their own self-esteem, maybe they're listening and they're like, wow, like I really resonate with this. What are some things that they can do to start working on their own self-esteem, especially if they're thinking, I want to take a leap too? What's sort of the first steps to taking that leap?
That's such a great question. And it really starts with getting to the root of the issue. And I think that the root for a lot of us is not something that's in our face. It's not, you could be insecure about your weight, but it's not the weight that's holding you down. You could be insecure about your job title or whatever it is, but that thing isn't the root of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really, it starts at the beginning, in beginning to unpack, because a lot of it, for most of us, happens in our childhood. We are imprinted with either traumatic experiences, which is too much, too fast, too soon,
Mm-hmm.
or we're imprinted with, these labels that we get along the way. And not all of the labels are negative labels. Like some of us have gone through bullying or, different things, but the labels could be, you're great, you're an overachiever. And so now you get identified with doing instead of being. You're a human being, not a human doing. And so getting to the root of something that may have shifted your energy, or why can't I let this subside? And so once you get to that, there are a couple of things that you can do. First of all, journaling. I say journal all the time. You don't have to know what happened. You could just do a download of what happened throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're able to see these patterns of what's happening, and you kind of learn your own blueprint of how you operate in this world. And you're able to notice these themes, these patterns of, these types of situations make me feel less than. These types of interactions fuel my soul and make me feel invigorated. It starts with knowing the problem and then knowing yourself. What's going to make you feel good? What brings out the best of you? And what drains your energy? And then from there, you're able to operate from a space of not just passion, but purpose, and really be in alignment with who you are. Because, when we think about confidence in the sense that, because I can talk to this myself, I'll say I have always been stick skinny, and then over the pandemic, I blew up. I gained so much weight. And I was like, what?
I understand. Like this, I'm still bouncing.
I put my clavicles now, Candy, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there.
But it's not the root. Like,
Yeah.
Your size doesn't dictate
Yeah.
how you feel, but understand what it is that's going on that may be making you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But also notice that me losing weight, that's not going to change how I feel about myself, because then I'm going to pick myself apart for something else. Then I'm
Yeah.
going to pick myself apart because I don't have the $5 million mansion, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to pick myself apart because whatever reason. So it's not those things, it's getting to the root of what it is and going from there. And so I think that's why the self work is so important. Like the working out and the eating is just a band aid on self
Yeah.
esteem and security. It's not the root cause. And so you can put the band aid on, that's fine, but it's not going to heal an open wound.
100%. I think you said two things that were so powerful. The first one was knowing yourself,
Mhm.
right? Because when you know yourself, then you can really intentionally design your life around your joy. You
Mhm.
know, when you know what lights you up, you know, what brings you down, you know, what inspires you, what triggers you, then you're able to design a life around who you are authentically. And this is something I've been struggling with this summer, actually. So I don't know if it's the heat because I'm in the desert for the summer. I don't know if it's the heat or what, but I have just been not been able to get up early. I mean, just sleeping in unless I have to have to get up, have to get up. And I don't know what it is. And I've never been like that. I've always been like an early riser, you know, got to get up early and got to get up booked and busy, blah, blah, blah. But it's been such a struggle. And then you think about the 5 a.m. club and all of these entrepreneurs and how they're like, these are the most productive hours of the day and all this chatter in my head. And so I was really down on myself for not wanting to get up that early and sleeping in. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, Candy, you work for yourself. So you intentionally built a life that you can mold to you. So instead of thinking that you have to be like all of these other gurus and entrepreneurs who have this sacred morning club, or, you know, you have to get up and early, why don't you just listen to your body?
Right.
Maybe your body just needs the rest, you know? Maybe your body, it just is adjusting to the heat. Maybe because you're staying up later because you're working on something or you're doing something else. Maybe because you're working out in the sun and that's adding a different layer of exhaustion to your body, right? So instead of listening to all of these outside people who are the authority of how to be productive and successful, listen to yourself because you're the authority of how you are going to be productive and successful. So I love that you said know yourself because that's what I was struggling with a lot this summer. And I was being really critical of myself because we're all humans, you know, as much of self-development you can do it all day long. We're still human and healing is always a process. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
And I was being really down on myself that I sort of had to, with loving self-compassion, hold myself accountable and say, hey, listen, practice what you preach, you know?
Ooh,
You
it's
know,
so
practice what
huge.
you preach, girl, because you're sitting here berating yourself literally for nothing. If you want to sleep in. You're the boss, applesauce, you know? So I was literally torturing myself for no reason. So I love that you said know yourself because then you can start to design your life around who you are authentically. And then you're able to be nimble and you're able to adjust and you're able to course correct, not just, well, this is how I always did it. So this is how it always has to be done. But you evolve and you change and your likes and your dislikes and what your body needs and what your mind needs also changes and shifts over time. So having that loving flexibility to grow with yourself
Oh,
is really
absolutely.
important. So that was really powerful. And then when you were talking about, you know, it's not about the weight and it's not about the title and it's not about that stuff. It's so true. It's like the intention behind it. You know, it's like, do I want to lose weight because I think that losing weight is going to make me more lovable and better? And am I trying to lose weight because I actually hate my body? So the energy, the intention I'm putting behind it is actually I hate myself. That's why I'm running. That's why I'm not eating carbs. That's why I'm doing Pilates for 5 hours. That's why I'm doing what Ozempic, all these crazy things that people are doing out there. That's not me personally. That sounds exhausting. But what all these other people are doing, right? It's actually coming from a place of hate. Where when it comes from a place of love, it's I love myself and I want my body to be its highest expression of its divine self. So I'm going to listen to it. Oh, it needs more water. It needs me to work out a little bit more. Maybe I need to get my hormones checked. Like maybe this is what's going on. But it's coming from a place of intuition and a place of love of I love myself. Therefore, I want myself to be the highest expression of itself. Not I hate myself, therefore I want my body to look like this so that I can feel good about myself.
Yeah. I
You
mean, you said it so well. Absolutely. The intention is everything behind it.
know? So what I'm trying to think of a really good question for you because you're just like a wealth of knowledge. And I'm trying to think if I was listening and I was struggling, what would I want to know? What's your bounce back? Like if you go through something, like say you're on the journey and you're doing good, work is flowing, everything, and then something happens that's unexpected and it kind of knocks you off. How do you get back to alignment with self when you've been
Yeah.
out of it?
Yeah, it's actually something that has happened a lot recently. So I can speak from a place of like very, very recent personal
Yeah.
experience. I think first is giving yourself what you need in that moment. And it often starts with self compassion again. I think too often we're so hard on ourselves and tell ourselves that we shouldn't feel the way that we feel, or maybe something happened to us that other people would have reacted differently to. And we know for a fact that, others would see it as overreacting or being overly emotional or whatever it is. This is you. This is not them.
Yep.
Your life is a movie, and you, my dear, are the main character,
Yes.
period. And so we don't compare our lives, our reactions, our feelings, our emotions to what others are going through. And I feel like that is the key to like starting the work in a way that actually works. And it's giving yourself the time that you need to walk through it. And then once you come from a place of self compassion and see what you need in this moment and say, what I also need in this moment is, to make it to this meeting. And, maybe like I remember I was like crying and I'm like, okay, I've got a meeting in 5 minutes. All right, you know, patch your eyes, go put on that under eye concealer and show up, do what you need to do, and then go back and do what you need to do in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
The key, though, in those moments of silence when you are with yourself is to intentionally practice something that is going to bring you to a different vibration. You don't want to stay the same. Cry, get it out. Do not berate or belittle yourself for being in pain and feeling in pain. But at the same time, tap into your higher being.
Mm-hmm.
What does source say? Like the most beautiful thing is that little voice, that intuition is always there to guide you. So I remember I was going through something. I was so sad, so emotional.
Yeah.
And at that moment, like I never lost a sense of self-confidence. Like I was like, yeah, I know I'm valuable. I know I'm this. I know I'm that. I just feel like crap right now.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a matter of self-esteem. It was like, how do I get out of this dark place? And so tuning into source energy, it wasn't like a self-affirmation, because usually I do I statements, positive I statements in the present moment to bring me through. But sometimes we need something else to fill our cups. And so the statements that I was making were in third person, and it was tapping into source energy, like a download of, sometimes it was because I was going through an like emotional roller coaster. Like she feels, she loves, and we love her back, and just feeling that love and that hug. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's worthy, she's beautiful, she's doing all of these great things. Like sometimes we need to hear it in third person, or like look in the mirror and say those things to yourself. I know also I used to do this, and then I stopped doing it when I was going through my moment in 2020. We love to feel a vibe, right? And so when we're sad, we have our like little Billie Eilish sad vibe. No,
Don't do it.
do not do it. Like go, I don't care what makes you happy, whether it's going to put on some like gospel music, going to play some like Britney Spears. I'm a 90s girl. Like
Yep.
whatever it is, like your Doja, like to get into that like boss beautiful vibe. We need positive energy. Do not you what you want is something that is going to elevate your vibration, and music does that really well. Music will reinforce what you feel or bring you out of it. And so doing things that contradict how you feel in that moment, which is not going to always, when you're thinking about it, you will have a moment where you're like, oh, it would feel really good to go on a walk right now. I should go on a walk. And this is me every day at around 3-4 o'clock. And then what also is me is no, I have so much work to do. I could just get through it and do XYZ and then I can be done for the day. And then it's like, no, you need to go for a walk. Go for the walk. The fact that you had that thought, you have to start trusting that thought. That is source energy guiding you to what you need to do in the moment. And your work never is never as important as you are. You have to fill your cup before you can go do work effectively. So I think that's another thing too. And then community. And sometimes that community is going to be, you and yourself and your dog, or you yourself and your television if you don't have a pet. I don't know. But I don't have one. It's just me and myself. Or it could be your girlfriends. But if you don't have that sense of community, positive energy, good people who are going to fill your cup, listen when you need someone to listen, and slap you into shape when you need that too. But your tribe really does determine your vibe. And so surrounding yourself people who are doing great things, love themselves.
Yep.
Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Love themselves. That's going to help you as well. And it's helped me come such a long way.
Yeah. And I love that, because if they don't love themselves, then your shine will disturb their darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you get toxic friendships and frenemies and all of that stuff. So you're right. You want someone who shines to match your shine, to shine brighter together.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really important who you surround yourself with. I love that. And I loved, you said so many good goodies. So the first one was, the third person support, and speaking to yourself in the third person. I love that, because it shows you that you're not alone, that it's not just like you said, the affirmations are great. I am. But when you're really in a dark place, that can make you feel like, well, it's just on me. But when you say she or we, or even I did this the other day, because I was going through something and I was just like, God, I've been trusting you. I've been praying. I've been believing, but I'm tired. I was like, I'm tired of this.
That's so powerful. That prayer right there is so powerful. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be
no, because
I don't know what to do.
No, because I have a legit relationship with God. I talk to God like I'm talking to my best friend, because God is my best friend, right? And so I just get real. I'm like, God, listen, I've done every single thing. I've had faith. I've been praying. I've been scripting. I've been believing. I've been affirming. I've been calling on you. I'm tired. I'm done. I've been in surrender mode. I'm going to surrender again. If it's not, if I haven't surrendered enough, here it is. I let it go. And so knowing that God is there, and God wants to be the person, and God is really the only person, entity, thing, you know what I mean? That's going to fight the battle, and that can carry the burden. And that it's really it's not you on your own, And that is so powerful. And that's what you're tapping into. You're like, she's worthy, she's loved, she's supported. And, putting yourself in the third person is also a place of surrender. So I absolutely loved that. And I also loved what you said about not ruminating in it. Don't watch a sad rom-com when you're going through a breakup and it makes you feel bad. Don't listen to the sad music, because that then reinforces that state of consciousness. And that's what you don't want to get into. You're allowed to be human. You can say, in this moment, I'm angry, I'm pissed, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm tired. You're allowed to have the moments and feel the feelings, but you don't want that to become a state of being. It's like, I'm angry in this moment, but I don't want to become an angry person. I'm sad in this moment, but I don't want to become depressed. I'm worried in this moment, but I don't want to become anxious. Because when you ruminate in it, that's when you become it. Yeah. And that's the difference between being a healthy human being who says, I'm going to feel my feelings, versus someone who's unhealthy and they let their feelings overtake them. You have your feelings don't have you unless you ruminate in them. So that was such a powerful piece of advice, because a lot of people are like, I'm sad, I just want to like be in my sadness. But it's like, yeah, you can be in your sadness, but what are the healthy tools that you can use to work through your sadness? Maybe it's going for a walk and crying through it, not letting it ruminate with the music and all this stuff and all of, maybe it's calling a friend, like you said, support. So you can be with your sadness, but it's how are you with your sadness? So I absolutely love that. And then you also said, trust the source when it says like go for the walk or take a bath or cry it out or dance it out. Like trust that intuition first, best, and the most, and everything else can wait. The work will be there, whatever, the emails will be there, whatever it is will be there. So I absolutely love that. You had so many good goodies in that, place. Yeah. And so we had touched on manifestation. How do you define manifestation, and do you do anything to like intentionally manifest?
Yeah. I think one of the things that we have to say right out the gate is you're manifesting every moment of the day, all the time, whether you
Mm-hmm.
think you are or not, whether you're doing it consciously or not. And the key to getting what you want is to start consciously manifesting.
Yep.
The law of attraction is always at play, and it doesn't matter what you want to call it. Every thought that we have is sending out a vibration. Thoughts become beliefs, beliefs become actions, actions manifest in the reality that we see around us. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that for me, and I always go back because it's so funny, and especially like my 30th birthday is literally like next week. So I'm like
Happy birthday!
in this period of like reflection of being like, what would I have thought years ago?
Mm.
That I thought that success and getting all of the things that you wanted had to be so hard.
Yep.
And if you want them to be hard, they can be hard and they will be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want for them to be easy, and if you believe that it can be easy, then it will be easy. And I feel like tapping into that and just having that baseline belief is so important of like things literally can fall in line.
Yep.
Some of the keys to manifesting what you do want in your life is first take a look around you. Have a sense
Mm-hmm.
of gratitude for what's around you, but also realize that where you are right now, like literally, even the conversation that we're having, all of this is old news. It's
Yep.
old news. This is a manifestation of past thoughts, past feelings, past actions, past interactions, past conversations. And so when you tap into the present moment, you're able to see, okay, what has my past brought me? And also, what do I have the power to do right now to get to where I would like to be, and be very clear and very specific about what you would like. People always say, have the dream, have the goal, and let it go. And here's why.
Mm.
Because when we think about always forget, I think it's like anywhere between 60 and 80,000 thoughts that we have a day, and the majority of those are negative. And so what we're doing when we hold on to what we want to manifest and have those negative thoughts is we want to go this way, but we have an energy pushing us in that way because those are the negative thoughts. But if you release the negative thoughts, you're at least just here and you're slowly moving along. Now, if you're having positive thoughts, good vibes, then you can think about what you want because it's going to catapult you to where you want to go. But
Yep.
like if you are in a bad mood, you've already set the intention. So don't think about it. Don't be, don't go to work and be like, I gotta work so I can get this mansion and this man, and do everything with this like horrible attitude and like
Yeah.
horrible energy. You're going to get horrible results. Do everything from a place of how can I love what I'm doing in this moment, even if it's not something that is great. Like I don't like folding my clothes, but I'm grateful to have clothes. So I'm just like, oh, these are so cute. Like this is a
Mm-hmm.
great time. Tapping into maybe I don't enjoy the whole experience, but how can I appreciate aspects of it to manifest more of what I do like, more of what I do want into my life. And so manifestation really is your energy. And this is so hard for individuals who are like myself. I'm going to speak specifically to those people who have like hustled. You may have grown up a little rough, or not having a supportive childhood. And so you really believe, like if I would have heard someone talking and saying this to me, I'm like, oh, she has no clue, or like maybe she just got lucky. It is not luck.
Yep.
You set your intention, you do what you can without striving, without, going out of alignment with yourself or making yourself uncomfortable, and God will fill in the rest. And that's it. Manifestation, law of attraction really is that simple. And so keep thoughts in your mind that are positive. Check in with your energy. If something doesn't feel good, if a thought doesn't feel good, acknowledge it and send it away.
Absolutely. And I hear you on the mindset when you grow up that it has to be hard.
Yeah.
Like so many people grow up thinking, well, money doesn't grow on trees. If you want something, you have to work hard for it. Work hard, then you get to play hard, right? It's that hustle, hustle, hustle. Everything has to be earned. You even hear when people say, I'm trying to manifest. Well, that's why you're not manifesting intentionally what you want, because manifestation is not a trying process. It's an allowing process. It's like you have the gratitude for what you want, you set the intention for it, and you are allowing it to come to you and come to pass. That's the surrender and let go detachment part. So even people like, I'm trying to manifest this. Well, you're starting on the wrong foot.
Right.
Because it's a manifestation is an allowing process. I'm allowing what I want to come to me. But it's really hard for people to do that when they have that hustle mentality, because they think that they have to control. They think if I don't do something, I'm not going to get what I want. I have to do something to get it, right? It can't be that easy. But the truth is, you don't actually have to do anything. There's a difference between trying to control it, the when, the why, the how, versus being inspired to take action. They talk about inspired action, and inspired action is also from a place of allowing. It's like when that little whisper says, maybe send this email to this person, or maybe go to this ice cream shop instead of that one. And then you end up meeting your life partner, or you sent this one email that you never thought to send before. And now you have this great job opportunity, right? You're like, well, I had to do something, but it's like, but you didn't do it. You were inspired to do it versus, well, I'm going to post this on Instagram because I want my ex to see it. And then he's going to text me and then we're going to get back together. That's manipulation and control, right? Because you think I have to do this to get what I want versus being allowed for it to come to you and to flow. So I love that. But that can be difficult for people who have always thought, I got to provide for myself. I got to get for me. Then it's hard for you to think and trust and believe that, no, God wants to do this for you. God created the universe. Like some people say dear universe, or I don't do that, because for me the universe is a tool that God created for us to use. It's this energetic force that brings what we want to us. And so the universe, just like when we pray, I pray to God, and then the universe is the tool that God allows us to use to bring it to us. For me, he always says yes. It's either yes and I get it, yes but not right now, or yes but I'm going to give it to you in an even better way. But the thing that trips people up is that we get into that control, manipulative mindset. And of course, we don't consciously think I'm going to control and manipulate. It's just how we are operating because we haven't shifted internally yet. We think, oh, well, it wasn't the first yes, I don't have it. So I want to control when. Why isn't it in here yet? I'm impatient. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? But God said yes, just not right now. Can you have faith? That's the faith test, right? Can you have faith that it is done and it is coming? But then when we try to control and manipulate the when it's coming, then that's when we get tripped up and the negative thoughts come, and then it gets farther and further away, not because God didn't want to give it to us, but because we are keeping ourselves separate from it.
Right.
And then the third yes, which is yes, but I'm going to give it to an even better way. That's when we want to control the how. This is how I want it, right? But we all know in manifestation, you don't control the how. But that is when we get all tripped up and I want it this way, and this is how I want it, and this is when I want it. And because it wasn't that instant yes, we think, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't happen for me. Oh, I have to do something to manipulate and control. So I love what you're saying, be in that gratitude, set the intention, trust, and let go, and then be mindful of your thoughts, because your thought is either going to put you in the position to receive what God has for you and what you asked for, or it's putting you in a position to be separate from it. Not that it's not there for you, but you're just separate from it.
Right.
Because it's always there.
So
it's just whether or not you're tuned in to receive it. Yeah.
So good. I love this.
So good. So good. Jocelyn, my cup is full. So full. So I want to be, respectful of your time. So let me know, what is one word of wisdom or one kernel of advice or guidance or insight that you would love for all of us to take away from this conversation? Either something we've talked about or something we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah. One thing that I'll say, which is so cliche, is that you are enough, but also that you've always been enough.
Yes.
Like even at your worst moments where you don't want anyone to see you, the thing that you've grown into this person maybe that you love and admire, but you have this past or you have this secret or you have whatever it is. There's nothing that disqualifies you from being worthy. You are enough as you are. We come into this world as these perfect little divine beings, these cute little babies. And along the way, because of the fall, we feel like we are separated from God and separated from Source. But Source is within us.
Yes.
Which means that there's nothing that you can do to not be whole. You can try all that you want to, but the whole truth, the whole manifestation of God's love is within you right now, whether you feel it or not. And so allow yourself to believe that and sit with that, whether you want to feel the love or not, and you'll begin to feel it. You'll begin to become empowered by it, and you'll begin to see things change and unfold for you in ways that you never thought possible.
I love that. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. This has been so beautiful. And everything to connect with Jocelyn will be linked down below in the description box in the show notes. But do you also want to share with us where we can find you, how we can support you, and maybe work with you as well?
Yes. Well, head over to cultivatingconfidencedaily.com. We have community. There's other women like Candy that are sharing their stories. And it's really a place where we humanize the human experience and help women build confidence along the way. And follow us at Confidence Daily on all of our socials.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. This has been amazing. And so for everyone listening and watching, it is my intention that this episode was very valuable for you. So I believe that it was. Also, be sure to grab our free self-love guide, which is down below if you need additional support. You can also check out our courses on manifestation, self-love, and lifestyle design. Join our Patreon community. The first 7 days is a gift from me, so they are 100% free. And also shop our Soft Girl merch line and subscribe, like, and share because your journey to self-love is always better with a little bit of support. So again, thank you so much, Jocelyn, and we will talk to you next time. Ready to unlock your true potential and manifest the life of your dreams? Then I've got something super special just for you. Our mind-blowing self-love and manifestation courses. Picture this: a journey of self-discovery where you'll find a deep well of self-love and acceptance. Say goodbye to self-doubt and hello to unshakable confidence. Our courses are designed to help you embrace your worthiness and tap into the incredible power of self-love. But that's not all. We'll also dive deep into the transformative world of manifestations. You'll learn proven tools and techniques and strategies to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your wildest dreams. So get ready to create the success, happiness, love, and abundance that you deserve. So what are you waiting for? Head over to candywashington.com/courses to get started. Again, that's candywashington.com/courses.